And we are back. It is match day 9 of the Nations League. The first day of the third round of matches, shall we say. Everyone has now played twice, other than the two teams that played in the World Cup playoffs. But it's shaping up quite nicely. I think it's been a really good tournament so far. Looking forward to see where it goes in the second half of this mini-series. We are now sort of halfway through the Nations League for the summer. There are, of course, 2 more fixtures in September before the finals and relegation playoffs next summer. But last night, I definitely picked the wrong game to watch. I watched Wales against Holland, which, if I'm being quite frank with you, the 5 minutes of stoppage time were more entertaining than the entire 90 minutes. Was the first real match that I've sort of watched that kind of felt more like an exhibition match rather than a competitive game. To be fair though, it was an opportunity to play players that don't normally play competitive football. That's sort of the way I look at games at the moment. Everyone is playing every 3 days. It's off the end of a very long season, and next season does start early, and the World Cup is at Christmas. So I think teams are using it for 2 reasons. One, to give players the opportunity to play competitive football, to see whether or not they'll be capable of performing at a World Cup, but also as an opportunity to look at other players that they won't necessarily get the chance to look at normally. So, in my opinion, the tournament's working well. But like I said, last night, I definitely picked the wrong game. Great drama in those last 5 minutes though. Wales looking like they got the draw, and then Holland scoring straight from kickoff. So, all in all, a very strange night of football, but we look ahead to the first part of kind of like a game week 3 from a Premier League predictions perspective. And let's go for the usual process of running down those matches from last night before looking ahead to match day 9. As always, drop a like if you enjoy this series, and let's get into match day 8's results. Obviously, like I said, there were just the 4 games, and to be honest, it went really well. Able to get every single result correct, even getting the correct score for Scotland, Armenia. Obviously the standout performance being Belgium, who, like I said, I didn't watch that game, so maybe they were taking it more seriously, I don't know, but to come off the back of a 4-1 defeat to then go and win 6-1 is a very big turnaround for them, so fair play to them for that. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a cutting edge from them for the rest of the Nations League now, and maybe a bit more entertainment from them, because they certainly showed it last night. All in all, a matchday score of 6, which from 4 games is absolutely fantastic, and brings the tournament score now up to 38. As always, I will include the copy and paste option in the description of the video, so you can let me know how you got on. And let's get into matchday 9. So, as always, we will start off with Group D. League D, I always call it Group D. League D, we start with Malta and Estonia. The 2, I would say, closer teams in this group. Obviously, Malta and Estonia have both started with pretty comfortable wins. Now they come up against each other for the first time. And if I'm going to go sort of overall performance and level of player on each team, Estonia are definitely the better team here. You cannot read anything into their 5-0 defeat to Argentina, because like I said the other day when we talked about Messi's 5 goals, Estonia literally played their full reserve team in that one. So they'll have their full first team back for this one. I think they'll just about have the edge over Malta, and I'm going to go for 2-1 in that one for Estonia. Up to League C we go, and we start with, I think it's Group 4, isn't it? It is Group 4. No, sorry, Group 4 is the Gibraltar group. It is Group 2, and it is Greece, Cyprus, Kosovo, and Northern Ireland. After back-to-back wins for the Greeks against Kosovo and Northern Ireland, I think it's only fair to say that they are probably now the favourites to win this group, and they now come up against who are arguably the weakest team in the group, which is Cyprus. So no surprises, I am going to go for a 2-0 win for the Greeks in this one. As for the other one, Kosovo up against Northern Ireland. I said Northern Ireland's game against Cyprus was their second chance, and I'm not going to give them a third chance. Hopefully for their sake, I do hope they turn up, but if they perform the way they have against Greece and the Cypriots, it's only going one way, and I'm going to go for a Kosovo win. I'm only going to go for 1-0 though. Kosovo haven't really looked too dangerous in the 2 games that they've played. It's just that Northern Ireland haven't even troubled to score the score sheet at all yet. So 1-0 I'm going to go for there. Now we do move on to League C Group D, which is the Gibraltar, Bulgaria, North Macedonia and Georgia group. And no surprises really for the first one. Obviously in the first two videos where we've talked about this group, I spoke about how Gibraltar really are the weakest side in this group. They've been defeated relatively comfortably by Georgia and North Macedonia so far. And I expect the same again today from Bulgaria. I'm just going to go for a 3-0 win for them there. As for North Macedonia and Georgia themselves, I think this is probably now the toughest one to call. North Macedonia obviously still on relatively good form. We spoke about the big upsets at the Euros and then beating Italy in the World Cup qualification. Did struggle against Bulgaria, but then got the comfortable win against Gibraltar, as expected. And then Georgia, who have really surprised us with the 4-0 win against Gibraltar and then the 5-2 win against Bulgaria. I think purely because of how well they did against Bulgaria and the fact that Macedonia struggled to get a draw against them, I think I have to go for a Georgia win here. I'm going to go for 3-1 because they are the top goal scorers in the Nations League so far, and if they keep playing the way they have, they'll get the result here as well. So I think that's a fair result to go for a 3-1 Georgia win. So that is what I am going for. On to League B, and we start with Norway and Slovenia. Not really too much to say about this one either. Obviously Norway are 2 wins from 2. Thanks to Erling Haaland. Will he play his third game in 10 days? I'm not so sure, but I think the Norwegians are pretty keen on getting their promotion, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him start again. I am going to go for a Norway win. I'm going to go for 3-0. If Haaland doesn't play, I don't think it will be that heavy of a win, but the Slovenians haven't really shown much fight so far in this group. So considering they've lost their opening games and Norway have won their opening games, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Norway win this one pretty comfortably. As for Sweden and Serbia, I think this one's going to be a lot tighter. Obviously Serbia lost their opening game to Norway and beat Slovenia, and Sweden beat Slovenia, then lost to Norway. So we're in this position where you've got the two teams that have both beaten the weakest and lost to the strongest coming up against each other for the first time. So I'm just going to do the bog standard football prediction thing and go, when it's a tight game, for a 2-1 win for the home team. Again, I think this is probably the hardest one to call tonight out of all the games in all the groups. It wouldn't surprise me to see a draw or a Serbia win in this one, but I think Sweden probably just about have a slight bit of extra quality over the Serbians, so I am going to go for the 2-1 win for them. And finally, we move on to League A, the group of Portugal, Czech Republic, Switzerland and Spain. The group that's probably pulled up the most surprises so far. Czech Republic sitting on 4 points with Portugal, Spain on 2 and Switzerland with 1. No, none. Switzerland lost both their opening games so far. So we start with Portugal and Czech Republic, and I think this has now become a tough one to call. I didn't expect them to beat Switzerland. I certainly didn't expect them to get a draw against Spain. And now they come up against a Portugal team that were outclassed by Spain, but then outclassed Switzerland themselves. So I think, again, team selection will come down to it here. As I spoke about at the start of the video, teams are definitely experimenting with other players that they want to potentially use at the World Cup. How many changes Portugal will make for this one remains to be seen. In my head, though, I think whatever Portugal team is put out on the pitch should be better than the Czech Republic team, and Portugal are at home, so unfortunately for the Czech Republic I am going to slightly disrespect them a little bit again, and I am going to go for a 3-1 win for Portugal in that one. Finally, we have Switzerland and Spain, and given the fact that Switzerland have lost their 2 opening games and Spain made a lot of changes for that Czech Republic game, I think they're going to be back to relatively full strength. This is a repeat of the Euros quarterfinals from last summer. That game was 1-1 and then won by Spain on penalties. I think Spain are going to want to assert some dominance over this in this game. They are only on 2 points. I'm sure they will want to be qualifying for the Nations League semi-finals after getting to the final last year. So I think they're going to go pretty full strength for this. I think they're going to go for the win, and I think they're going to get the win. So sorry, Dave. Unfortunately, we are going to go for a 2-0 win for Spain in that one. And that is going to round off today's video. As always, I will put down in the description of this video all of the fixtures for today, just allowing you to quickly copy and paste them down and let me know in the comments what you will be predicting. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing. The channel is growing day by day at the moment, which I absolutely love to see. And I would also love to see you drop a like on the video as well. Hit that bell to get your predictions in before anybody else. And I will see you first thing again tomorrow morning for Matchday 10. Thank you very much for watching.